Hello, and thanks for tuning into Taste Radio, the #1 podcast for anyone building a business in food or beverage. I'm Ray Latif, the editor and producer of Taste Radio, and with my co-host for this episode, John Craven, Jacqui Brugliera, and Mike Schneider, who has the coolest shirt on of the four of us right now. I believe that's Jacqui.
It's Jacqui.
This gal right here.
Who's wearing a white t-shirt that says oat milk on it, and the font of oat milk looks like an old high school varsity jacket lettering kind of thing.
I thought I was going to win. I wore my new shirt today, and then Jacqui pulls that out.
That's your Bert and Ernie shirt, isn't it?
Yeah, what are you wearing?
What? It's a nice one. I like it.
Yeah, Bert and Ernie shirt.
I just found it at a thrift store, and it was in my size. It was meant to be. I was like, this is so on brand.
You're walking by the thrift store, and it's like, Jacqui.
Literally calling my name.
Jacqui, you're so Gen Z, even though you're not. Thrifting.
I'm trying. Yeah, thrifting, I feel like is also a bigger thing in California and in San Diego. There's a bunch of thrift stores. So I've been thrifting a bit, but yeah, very Gen Z of me. And I found this, and I've been having, a renaissance with oat milk lately. I went to almond milk, and now with super basic, I've just been drinking more oat milk.
That stuff's so good.
It's so good. So
I hear mixed reviews about oat milk these days.
You just drink cream.
I just drink cream.
But have you had
heavy cream?
Specifically, though, have you had super basic? It's the new Oatly, 4 ingredients. We got to get some of that.
They should just stop making the other Oatlys.
It's so good.
That
should just be Oatly.
What was weird is, Jacqui, when you and Amanda Smerlinski did your tour of Sprouts, or at least your little shopping extravaganza at Sprouts, I was actually kind of surprised to see that product on an ambient shelf.
It was in refrigeration.
It was refrigerated? Okay,
Yeah.
Maybe you guys put it there to make it easier for people to see. But it looked like it was on an ambient shelf next to what's that one? Pacific Naturals or Pacific Organic? Yeah, that brand, which is non-refrigerated.
I think it could be they just decide to put it next to the milk because that's where people expect milk to be.
For sure,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. Anyway, is there a tag on the back? Is there a brand associated with your oat milk T-shirt or no?
It's just super random. Someone really loved oat milk and decided to make this T-shirt.
That's a great name for a brand, actually. Super random.
Random.
For a clothing brand, anyway.
Yeah, that could be. Oh, they could have fun with
Probably
that too.
been done.
Yeah,
Probably.
probably been done. Actually, on the way over, I was thinking, it'd be an awesome name for like an Instagram account or even like
Terminal
a bar.
illness.
No, Tequila Mockingbird.
17
and then
octopuses.
No, Tequila Mockingbird. And then literally 3 seconds later, I'm like, I'm sure someone has.
Yeah, you
that.
did not invent that.
Did you
There's
check
no way.
it?
Yes, I checked it. Yeah, there's a cocktail bar. There's several Instagram
Okay.
accounts. Yeah, so we'll just try to go with what's the name of our brand again? Something random.
Super random.
Super random. Super
Yeah.
random.
Yes.
That's the new name of the brand.
It's called I Forgot.
Well, what's not super random is our unofficial guide to Expo West. That's NOSH's unofficial guide to Expo West, penned, or at least led by managing editor Monica Watros. They did an incredible job. We have 5 articles on the site, NOSH that is, about things like the ABCs of Expo West, how to stay healthy, safe, and sane at the show, surviving and thriving, an investor's perspective, no booth, no problem, backpacking at Expo West, and from Hawkeye to Hijack, your etiquette at the show. So much good information, a lot of it free, actually, which is nice.
Did they tell you not to take more than one USB stick?
No, but,
Always a problem for you, Ray.
I shared my own insights about how to stay
I heard.
safe and healthy.
Or saw, excuse me.
Good team effort there. We've got some writing from Jeff Kleinman there. We've got some insights from Ray Latif himself, Monica Watros, as you said. Yeah, there's
And
some
a
good
little,
stuff.
Useful stuff, a little bit of humor. It's good.
A little bit of humor.
Yeah. I was chuckling a couple times reading through it.
Yeah. I'll tease my little
Nate
part
Rosen
here.
sent me a DM with one word: scurvy.
Scurvy. I'll just share this one thing. You can find this in the article, but I'm encouraging everyone, don't just rely on hand sanitizer. Please, 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 as often as possible, wash your hands with soap and water, and do it frequently, because hand sanitizer, it's good in a pinch, but you need to wash your hands. Please stop stuffing your face with samples without having clean hands. Use a napkin.
All the people who are running from their booth and look like they're in a hurry are running to the bathroom because they're probably going to meet you. Wash their hands.
You know where to find Ray.
I'm surprised you didn't say, if you expect to shake my hand, please be wearing latex gloves.
Do you do the handshake, Ray? Or do you do like fist bump. Or
I do the
can't-
handshake more than Mike
Really?
does. Mike does the fist
I
bump,
do
the
the
elbow
elbow
bump.
bump,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ray does the one where you go for the shake and then he puts his hand up and like kind of rubs his hair a little bit.
No, I thought I would be more of a fist bump guy in the
Yeah.
COVID era, but I don't do the fist bump.
The
as
fist
much.
bump's a little too broy for me.
Yeah,
It
it
is.
is.
You know,
That's why I do the elbow. It's
the elbow seems like you want to get cross-checked or something.
It's very UFC. You want to.
I have very pointy elbows, so it's kind of like a hazard. So I try to avoid that.
I have pointy elbows too.
Yeah, maybe that's why we don't do it.
But no,
I'm practicing
I
stabbing.
mean, I
someone
don't
with-
do it because by day one of Expo West, my shoulder wants to fall off.
That's true.
I also like doing the bro handshake where you crash hands together and it makes a big sound.
Yeah.
Because then everyone knows, oh wow, it's two cool people hanging out.
Yeah.
And
Like,
wanna
they know
who
each
they are.
other.
They know each other.
Yeah.
The louder the slap, the deeper the relationship.
I'm going through 7 years of
not a
seeing
thing.
that in my head right now. It's
I just want to start chest bumping.
Yes, chest bumping is good. That would be fun actually.
You could have a Taste Radio gold ring and have people kiss it.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Yeah, just by the bathroom door,
Yeah.
you know?
listeners. Do not chest bump Jacqui
No.
at Expo West.
I can handle it.
Let's go back to the gold ring for a second here. It's just I'm thinking about that right now, and I think if anyone ever was like, "Hey Ray, where's your gold ring that you talked about on the podcast?" I'd fly back home.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you know what? That's the peak of my idiocy and celebrity, as it were, in the food and beverage industry.
Kiss the gold ring of Taste Radio.
Please don't ask. So yes, Expo West next week. We will be there. Most of us will be there from the 12th to the 16th. I think a couple of us are still going to be there to the 17th.
Nope.
No. Okay.
Oh, no. Nope for me.
Okay. Well, reach out. We're all going to be gramming. We're all going to be. John will be tweeting, Xing, whatever.
I don't
you
know.
do.
I don't really multitask at these things super
You're
well.
just going to be gramming.
No, just wait till I get back to my place and probably more gramming.
Well,
I
I
don't know.
feel like that's probably the best way to get a hold of us at the show is not to email us, not to text or call, but to gram.
Slide into our DMs.
DM. Slide right in.
I like a LinkedIn DM, please.
There you go.
No, I don't check those things during the show.
Mike is BevNet Mike. Mr. Craven is BevNet Craven. Jacqui is BevNet Jacqui, QUI. I have the hardest one. It's BevTrade, BEVTRAYDE.
But yours is going to pop up when they're looking for ours. So
Yeah,
it
just-
happens.
Just find the blue shirt in the crowd.
Yours kind of looks like Bev Tirade, by the way.
It does look like, so a friend of mine actually, he teases me and he says it looks like BevTrade Raid, which I don't know what that even means, but
Where did BevTrade come from?
I started that account in 2016 and it was intended to be sort of a playful way of talking about my job in the beverage trade, right? So Bev Trade with a Y.
Got it. Hey,
So
clever.
the fact that no one got it means it's as dumb as heck. So
It has a Y in it. It's it's your name in it. It's
Just switch to Ray from Taste Radio.
well, the other way
Taste
to do it
Radio
is
Ray.
Taste Radio.
no.
with a
See,
Y.
that's the same as Bev Trade.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Taste radio.
I you know what? You have much more marketing experience than I do, Mike. So I think you're probably on the right track here.
Be that as it may.
Be that as it may, you used to drink before your Sober Curious days. You used to be a hard kombucha guy, right? You used
Oh
to-
yeah, I like hard kombucha.
You were always a kombucha guy, but
Oh,
how
yeah.
do you feel about hard kombucha?
I really like JuneShine. It gave me the alcohol experience that I was looking for when I was looking for an alcohol experience. So I'll just shout out to JuneShine. But yeah, I think hard kombucha is pretty good. Some of it's a little too boozy for me, but not JuneShine.
Well, JuneShine is, I think, the brand that most people associate with hard kombucha when you talk about that brand, that product and category.
Can I shout out to Hard to Pache as well?
Of course.
Crooked Owl, that stuff's really good.
It
too.
is really good.
That gives me the similar experience.
Yes. An adjacent segment, not really a category yet. But anyway, JuneShine, the San Diego-based company of that maker of hard kombucha and canned cocktails, announced that it would acquire Beyond Beer brand Flying Embers in an all-stock transaction that was announced yesterday. Justin Kendall, who's the editor of Brewbound, wrote this story. Flying Embers is also a maker of hard kombucha They make beer. They make seltzers, hard seltzers. I think they make a wine too, don't they? Or am I?
Don't know.
They had a few innovations.
But according to the article, the acquisition will make JuneShine by far the largest hard kombucha company in the country. The combination of the two brands will account for 63% of all hard kombucha sold in the United States, according to this article. Did not see this coming. John Craven, your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely did not see this coming. I think also noteworthy in that is that it does not include the physical brewery. It's clearly more about the brand and the owning more market share.
Flying Embers Brewery, you're talking
Yeah,
about.
correct. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it, to be honest. I mean, owning that big of a chunk of a category that I think is maybe having a little bit of growing pains, to put it nicely, and taking away, another competitor that was probably spending to build awareness and help further the category. I think that's could go either way, I guess.
And if it's not a production play, that's another thing that just kind of makes me raise my eyebrow. If you're not getting the breweries to be able to increase production, what's going on there?
Well, I think it sort of is. Yeah, I mean, it'd be very difficult to not read into this as Flying Embers was a distressed brand, and if they have a brewery, that's an asset that someone will certainly pay cash for, and the brand, get somebody else to run it. So
Yeah. It sounded like JuneShine also just wanted to increase distribution, and Flying Embers had distribution in areas that they didn't have. So that was probably another big deciding factor. And I feel like now they have just a bunch of different types of products. So they're like fully like a platform of innovative alcohol products.
Well, in JuneShine, I mean, I think, as kind of background to this too, I mean, they had rumored to have been up for sale at one point. Then they raised, I think it was $10 million from InvestBev. They're also about to launch a light beer brand. There's like a lot of things going on here that acquiring Flying Embers probably would not have been on the list for anyone. But, interesting. I think, definitely some good stuff in both those brands. So.
Yeah, interesting in the article, Forrest Dean, who's one of the co-founders of JuneShine, said that 4 years ago, this probably wouldn't have made sense for JuneShine, but today it's perfect timing. And in Flying Embers, they found a brand that was, quote, more complementary than we originally thought. So I'm sure there was a lot of due diligence and research on, how the brands kind of fit together in one portfolio. So while it is surprising, and while, I think there are some questions about, does this help the category of hard kombucha specifically? I hope it works, because they're two great brands, and hard kombucha has kind of had this weird trajectory of, it's going to be the next big alcohol category, and it really hasn't kind of been that yet. So interesting to see how this all plays out.
Yeah, hopefully some of that means there's people synergies between the two as well, so
Sure.
that they can just get more work done.
Absolutely. Now, hard kombucha, I think in our business was looked at as being, again, a growth category, a potential to expand the opportunity for alcoholic beverages, because it was a better for you option, right? I mean, it's better for you supposedly than beer, wine, or liquor. Ultra processed foods, on the other hand, I think most people look at them and say, these are just not good at all. There's no way to make these, I guess, better from a optics perspective or from a health and nutrition perspective. But I don't know if that's necessarily true. And Errol Schweizer, who is a longtime food industry vet, former Whole Foods executive, and now, I would say, active pundit when it comes to food and beverage, penned a recent article for Forbes titled "Why Now is the Time to Reinvent Processed Foods." This was a great article. And he talks about the history of processed foods and how a lot of it was born out of World War II, when the United States wanted to make sure that its soldiers were properly fed and had enough food to eat. That's why they were always packing these foods with preservatives and just hoping that they could have enough nutrition and last long enough so that they could fight in a long war if necessary. Now, according to Errol, we live in a permanent wartime economy, or at least the grocery industry, in his words, is to this day a permanent wartime economy. The agribusiness sector solidified during the post-war era to ensure cheap, calorie-dense, convenient, and abundant food for all has led to widespread consumption of ultra-processed food and has wrought, according to Errol, enormous damage to human health and the environment. But he does note that there is some opportunity here. If you think about, frozen food brands or better for you frozen food brands like a Saffron Road, which, let's call it what it is. It's a processed food, but they're a heck of a lot better than, I don't know. Can I say Stouffer's? Stouffer's?
Ooh, you said it.
Hungry Man.
Hungry Man. Yeah. And he talks about how, we're seeing some regulation. We're seeing governments take action to reduce the amount of ultra processed foods or reduce the kind of ingredients that are causing all kinds of problems for human beings. But I think, voting with your dollar and putting pressure on the big companies to acquire and work with some of these smaller brands, I think would be good for the industry as a whole and America as a whole. I just don't know why there isn't enough emphasis on this.
Well, I mean, I think, look, this whole argument is, I think, to some extent said or often said from a position of privilege, since, I would almost argue that, there's a much bigger just food security issue out there that, we're sort of stuck in a vicious cycle of, needing cheap food, but, people being concerned about prices. And yeah, I mean, most people in America aren't loading up their grocery cart with high price stuff, right? There's a reason that these companies are producing, low price, I guess, durable, maybe food products. You can buy a loaf of bread and eat it over a week, right? Which is not how fresh bread works.
No.
So I think, again, this stuff is maybe there's an argument to be made that if we didn't have this stuff, then some of the food security issues and prices would be better. But I think when the question is asked of why don't these companies do it, I think it just is much more complicated than that. And don't get me wrong, I do think that there is some of this stuff has been taken to the extreme of corporate greed, if you want to call it that, where we're just making ridiculous products, right? So I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm not sure that this is as black and white of an issue as, I think people who are writing about it on LinkedIn who are in the industry make it seem. So
that's a fair point. But if you look at a product that we talked about a few episodes back, that Trix loader, the General Mills
yeah,
product,
that's the extreme. Totally agree. We do not need that product.
You don't need that product. And I would argue that the onus isn't on a consumer to say, okay, well, I'm going to spend a bit more to get a better for you cereal. I think the onus is honestly on conglomerates and corporations like a General Mills to say, okay, we're going to invest in the future of health, invest in the future of our world by making better products and buying and acquiring better for you brands.
But they are doing that.
Are they?
They do have incubators. They do have innovation arms, and they do have those. But many times you see those innovation arms get spun up and then they spin down.
So why hasn't Simple Mills been acquired yet?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Put Mike on the spot there.
The answer is probably cost to acquire Simple Mills, and then cost to run it, cost to integrate it into an entire platform, and to have that be the new gold standard for a company.
The thing with Simple Mills, and going back to John's point about accessibility and affordability, I feel like that brand has gotten to a price point that is accessible for more people than it had been when it launched. A few episodes back, we talked about very ultra premium and expensive cereals, and it's understandable why a General Mills or a Kellogg wouldn't buy one of those brands, because it's not a great value for them. They can make their own products, which they're already doing, and they just don't see a great future for these products. A Simple Mills, on the other hand, which has a pretty broad portfolio of products and could, I think, integrate pretty nicely into one of these bigger companies. It's I don't know, it's just a little surprising.
No, I mean, look, I think there is, also just an education component that even consumers who have the financial means to buy better products don't totally understand. And I'll use a bread example again of, there's a bread that I buy from Iggy's, which is, a local bakery here in the Boston area. And, this is conversation I randomly had when going away on a weekend with another family. And they're like, they love the taste of the bread, but they don't buy it because it goes stale fast. And it's like, okay, but do you know why, And I think there just is a basic misunderstanding of, kind of like the trade-offs, if you will. And that, quality, it's not going to work the same in sort of the, in fresh, better for you products in some categories. Frozen food, obviously totally different animal, but I don't know. I mean, I think, again, this is just complicated. It's like one of those things like asking, I don't know, why don't we all have electric cars or, I don't know, universal healthcare or something like that, right? So
there's still just a huge disconnect between, like, when we're growing up, between food and the food industry and understanding where our food comes from. And like Craven was saying, like, why does bread go stale? Or, why does a tomato taste different when you like grow it fresh? And like, I mean, another good example of a brand that is becoming more accessible is like Bonza. I can buy it on Walmart Plus for like really cheap, and it gets delivered, and that's a better for you pasta. But people don't know that chickpeas are more nutrient dense, and they just go with something that's even a little bit cheaper that they're more comfortable with. And people don't know, I guess better, or they don't have the education or the resources or access.
But look, I mean, I think even the processed foods have gotten worse, right? It's like, stupid things. Like if you ever try eating a Twinkie, like a Twinkie from 30 years ago is not the same.
That's true.
I mean, not that you should eat either, to be clear, but yeah, I mean, I think clearly there's some broken stuff there. And, to Jacqui's point, I mean, we do need some of these bigger companies or, at least money to be put into them to get to a point where they can have the economies of scale to get the cost to a point where, they are more broadly affordable and available. I mean, if it's in Walmart, great, that's awesome.
Some of the innovation, I would bet, is shrinking sizes, shrinking portions as well, too. So you look at, Jacqui was talking about Hungry Man, and you talk about how big was Hungry Man 10 years ago versus how big are the portions today?
Wasn't that the one that was like a full 3 pounds of food or something?
Yeah, and then you also got like a brownie. It was like a 3-course meal.
Some weird dessert that you weren't quite sure what it was.
Well, I'll just say this: if General Mills, and I'm not trying to pick on General Mills, but if they look back at one of their most successful investments, that of Annie's, and look where that brand is right now, and consider how many people buy Annie's mac and cheese and some of their gummies and snacks on a regular basis, I think there's real potential with other entrepreneurial brands that we're seeing out there that are doing good and could be good for their portfolios from a financial standpoint and from a health and nutrition standpoint. So there's my soapbox talk once again here.
Again, it's just not as easy as you make it seem. Where a giant conglomerate's going to be able to spin up an innovation arm and then also be able to integrate these into their processes. So it's definitely a commitment, and there's a high cost associated with changing all their processes so that they can be better for you.
That was Mike's really nice way of saying, Ray, you sit there in your chair, in your expensive studio here at BevNet headquarters.
He's got to bring you back down to earth.
You get a makeup guy, you get someone bringing you your coffee.
I had to go product guy on it.
And you think that it's just so easy for them to go and buy anything they want at any time and integrate it into their manufacturing and marketing.
There's so many good ideas out there, Ray, and there's always and you think of them, and the funny thing is when you ask a founder, hey, have you thought of this? They're like, oh, that's a great idea. They'll probably are being really nice to you, and of course they've thought of it, but they also know how the proverbial sausage is made too, and they know why they haven't done the thing that you suggest, even though it's a great idea on paper.
Okay, I could go on and on about corporate M&A strategies.
I really want what you're talking about to happen, Ray.
Yes. Well, thank you for indulging me, everyone, and thanks for everyone who's listening to my soapbox talk here. But what I do want to talk about now is C4. C4 is a brand of energy drinks.
Smart energy, I
Yes,
noticed.
yes. You know why it's called this can?
I
I have in
have
my
a guess.
hand.
I have a guess. Is the C for cognizant?
No, C4 is the name of a brand that is marketed by a company called Nutrabolts, and C4 Smart Energy is one of their products here. And where does the smart in smart energy come from, Mike?
Cognizant?
It comes from Cognizant. And as we know, Cognizant is a clinically tested nootropic ingredient that delivers a patented form of acetylcholine to supply your brain and those of your consumers with the energy it needs to stay sharp. Learn more at cognizant.com. That's COGNIZIN.com. It is clinically tested and proven that Cognizant sharpens mental focus. I mean, like if you need a boost in the morning, if you need a boost at Expo West, this is something you'd want to reach for. I'm just saying.
Yum.
Yum. All right. I promised John Craven something special. I really did.
It's better deliver.
This is gonna blow your mind.
What?
I got some samples.
Wow.
They were delivered to the home base in sunny Brookline, Massachusetts. I know they should be delivered here, but you know it just happened.
You brought 'em
But I
over.
brought them here for you.
It's good.
It's two things.
Okay.
Okay. One of them is a dip. One of them is a snack. But I'm going to give them both to you at the same time.
I know. I bet the dip.
Can I dip the snack?
Yeah. Do they go
the
together?
The dip is one. Now, Ithaca Hummus, as
That
we
would've been my
know and
guess.
love, has come out with two new products. They have a new jalapeno lime
Yum.
hummus, and they have a new French onion. I brought you the French onion. And to use or to dip in the hummus, I have some pretzels. Utz, the well-known maker of pretzels and other snacks,
It's got my hot honey.
has launched a new line of products called Mixed Minis. These are 4-ounce pouches of pretzels that come in 3 bite-sized shapes. There are waffles, rings, and twists. There's a garlic butter variety.
Mm-hmm.
This one has artificial flavors in it. I'm not sure if you can.
Yeah, I was going to say this is like an interesting snack to choose after your last discussion.
Right, and this one, this one is one made with Mike's Hot Honey. It's done in collaboration with Mike's Hot Honey. Do you want one or both to dip
Yeah.
in
Which
there?
one would go with that dip?
I'm going to go with garlic butter.
Garlic butter it
Yeah.
is.
I mean, I love Mike's Hot Honey, but
garlic butter.
I mean, or I could just sample this hummus the way that the NOSH
Don't
guy
do
said,
it.
where I
Don't
just stick
do
my
it.
finger
Don't
in.
you do it. I'm leaving if that happens. No, please don't. Please, God, don't.
Go for it. Do
Okay,
it.
so,
do
oh,
it.
wow, that
Yeah,
looks
wait,
good.
oh,
Look at that garlic butter.
Get your finger in there.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, get that crunch.
This is not the right chip for this, but that hummus tastes great.
Yeah, that hummus is amazing. Oh, you just put the plastic back in there.
Whatever.
Oh, okay. Well, it's yours now anyway, so.
Can we sample another product that
Yes,
has
please.
maybe
No, show's done.
a couple fewer ingredients than the last one here?
Yes.
I guess it's the brand called Tingly.
Yes.
So these are Tingly Sichuan pepper peanuts, which I got a little tiny bag of. I noticed Mike just gripped the whole thing because, but you should definitely try these. They're really good.
That's a fun name.
These are individually packaged, Ray. They're 50 hertz tingly foods.
Look at that. So there's a multi-serve bag that contains how many mini bags are in this multi-serve bag?
12 20-gram packs.
Yes, and the small pouches are 0.7 ounces per. Look at that. I'd guess there's probably about 15 or 20 peanuts in here. Very cool.
I have the tingly brittle, which is green Sichuan pepper toffee nib chocolate brittle.
I'm a little scared of this one.
Good.
Do they make your mouth tingle?
Well, the nuts definitely do, but
Okay,
this
they
one
make you
that's
tingle.
it's chocolate and it smells spicy.
Mm.
Oh, okay. So there's a chocolate variety too.
Mm.
Oh, look at this. There's a Sichuan peppercorn that actually popped out.
It
of
flew out of the bag.
So
Does it fly out of your mouth or fly out of the bag?
the chocolate and the peppercorn together is so good. It's like just a subtle essence of heat, and you get that the numbing from the peppercorns, but it's not hot. It's really good.
Is it going to affect you later on, though? Is the question.
Oh, probably not. Not me.
No? You have a steel guts?
I'll be fine. Thanks for asking.
You got some coconut water there to wash it down.
Oh, I
though.
do. This coconut water is called Coco Karma. This is a brand
Or as
from
we say in Massachusetts, Kama.
Coco Kama.
Coco Kama.
Yeah, and I don't know how they would say it in in Australia, but that's where this brand is from. And there are several different flavors. There's acai, there's original coconut water, and then there's lychee or lychee, depending on how you like to say it. And this stuff's really good in these little 250 milliliter cans.
Can you share one?
Yeah, you want to try one?
Yeah, because my mouth's burning. I don't know. Pick one.
Okay, so see,
Pick one.
I knew someone's mouth
Roll
was
one
gonna be
over.
burning.
Might as well have the lychee with the Sichuan.
It stopped halfway down the table.
Oh dear God, my mouth is on fire.
I expect.
Really?
See, I saw this coming.
on.
Yeah, it's a building heat. Well, I had like
It is.
Yeah, the whole bag.
I'm.
I had a whole bag before we recorded.
Oh,
too.
I gotcha. Okay, so I still do have the numbing from the peppercorns from the brittle, and and it's gonna last probably a good 5 minutes. It's super tasty.
I'm gonna come to John's office in a couple hours and see how he's doing. And
Maybe John's the one you want to check in on, Ray, about later.
yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go into his office and be like, so how's it going? Get out of my office.
How are your insides?
Yes, Jacqui. I mentioned the Sprouts visit that you and Amanda had, which was probably my favorite social video of the year. Very fun and exciting. And I loved when Amanda crashed her cart into someone else's car.
She was trying to go for the market basket experience.
She didn't say, excuse me. She didn't say, oh, I'm sorry. She goes, beep, beep, beep.
She goes into like car mode.
Exactly.
She's like, get out of my way.
But you got something there under your table there, don't you?
Yeah. So we did pick up a bunch of different products. So check that out on the reel. But one of the things that I picked up was Rolling Greens plant-based meat. Starting to plan for Coachella next month, and I'll be camping, so I want some easy meals.
You're already planning for Coachella.
Yeah, I'm getting my camping pass next week. I'm ready to go.
Nice.
But yeah, so this is dehydrated, and it's meat, so you rehydrate it, and then you could make anything out of it. So you could make like a burger or meatballs, and it's plant-based. So it's just pea protein, dehydrated onion, dehydrated garlic. It's really simple ingredients. So it's cool to see just like more innovation for like shelf-stable products. And when I went into REI the other day too, I just saw more and more products that actually looked edible that was dehydrated, because in the past it looked like those, what are they called? The packs of food where it's just like your last
MREs?
resort. Yes, MREs.
I would just exist off Spaceman ice cream.
I can totally see that being something that would see in the military, right? Let's say there are soldiers who would prefer a vegan food option.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like it's something that's an easy fit into, what do they call the PXs?
Sure,
In the military? Yeah, the PXs are like the convenience store and grocery store for military bases.
This is good. We're teeing up our future discussion on military food logistics. We're all well versed in it.
You know what? We are the people that you want to come to when it comes to that topic. So, one more brand I want to talk about. That's a brand called Gâteaux, which is GATEAUX, which is a frozen dessert company, and they recently launched a new line of petite size cakes. And they sent me a couple of these cakes. One of the products they sent me was their sour cream coffee cake with cinnamon pecan streusel. It was freaking sane.
Did you bring us some?
I didn't. I'm so sorry.
Ray,
I know.
that is the property of. Does that sound familiar, Ray?
Yes, it does.
He's
So
just
I brought this for Mike and John specifically. They also sent me a chocolate cake. This is made with cream cheese, vanilla bean icing. The great thing about these products are that you can take and bake. You don't need to do anything but put these in an oven or a toaster oven for the amount of time that they tell you to prepare it for, and you've got dessert right there. So in this case, you preheat your oven to 350, you bake for 40 to 50 minutes, let it cool for 20, you put on the frosting, and you've got this amazing gourmet cake. I love this, and it's relatively affordable. So this chocolate cake is $13, and you can probably serve for
$13.
Yeah.
Let me see this thing.
Oh, $13 got you excited.
No, it seems, to be honest, a little.
Yeah.
It's
a little high.
Small
it
cake.
is incredible. It is. They make them that pecan cake that I had was ridiculous. Anyway, Gâteau Petits. Look into it, folks.